together, or the four, since, way back in 8th grade. You talked about dreams. Can you just talk about, how you guys got together?
Well, we got together playing in the league. It was the AAU National Traveling Basketball League, and it was just three of us at first, me, Little Drew, and Shion. A year went on, and Willie was added, and then it went all the way to our junior year where Romeo was added. So the five of us end up becoming this one group, calling ourselves the Fab Five. And the game of basketball just so happened to be the vehicle that we used. But our friendship was way beyond the game of basketball, or way beyond what anybody ever thought or ever think about. Seeing us in the inner city or seeing us play on ESPN playing the game of basketball. We were more than just teammates. We were like brothers.
And you talk about those dreams. All of you had different things that you were going after.
Well, I don't think so. I think all our dreams was the same, and that's what made us a better team. That's what made us, ultimately, best friends. All our dreams was geared towards winning a national championship and playing the game of basketball, and not knowing though that it was creating a friendship that'll last forever. That really helped us having that same dream. We all got up at the same time. We all went to school at the same time. We went to school together. We went to practice. Before even school started, we would go to the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning, work out, shower, go to school, and work out once again, and then practice. So, and we all had that same dream. We all had that same mentality, and that's what ultimately helped us, reach that dream and make it reality.
And let's talk about those challenges. I know you've had a lot of them. I remember when you guys played Roy Hall, and I know that was maybe a challenge way back before Sports Illustrated. But can you talk about, the junior year, the end of that season, when, state championship, everyone thought you guys were going to win. Everyone thought it was in the game.
Well, we look at it as this. Our junior year was a failure, but at the same time, it was a disguise. It really was a success because it made me more hungry. It made a lot of us more hungry, and we didn't know that. We didn't know that what we were doing was so wrong. When we lost, we look back, it was like, it finally caught back up to us, and that's when I found the meaning of karma. You do. It's not what you do in the present; it's what you do before. When you get to that point, that really separates the winners from the losers, and you're doing things the right way. So it definitely hurt us. It hurt us a lot, but at the same time, it made us better people and better players.
My last question is, you had a lot of pressure with that state championship and just the pressure to win all the time. And I found out that, you wrote in the Sports Illustrated that in your new book coming out, you talked about, using marijuana to cope with that. And I wanted to know, can you talk about those pressures?
Well, we look at it as everybody expected us to win, but every time we went out on the court, we always thought everybody wanted us to lose. Nobody really wanted us to win. Because first of all, we were African-American kids and we went to a predominantly all-white school, so they felt like we were not portraying, but we felt like that we were disappointing the black community because we didn't go to an all-black school, for one. Things that went on in our junior year, it wasn't, I didn't use marijuana to cope with anything. It's something that you're young and you're not doing things the right way and you try it. So that was over and done with, but there's nothing that I did to cope with anything, but we just wanted to focus on the game of basketball our senior year and ultimately win a national championship.
And what would be your advice to people that are in your place right now who are playing basketball and maybe feeling
Well, you got to go through it. In order to get better, you got to go through the ups and downs. You got to go through the bumps and bruises. You got to go through everything that we went through, which is going to be impossible because, you look at the film and you look at, the book that's coming out, it almost seemed like it was written by somebody in Hollywood and, they turned it into a movie because you had success and then you have downers and then you have success once again. So, it's going to be hard for me to go out here and tell people how do you approach it. You have to just go through it.
Okay, we just wanted to get a two-shot